guys, it's Ryan Towers here with Sigma Survival, and today I'm going to be showing you the trauma kit that I keep in the car. This goes pretty much everywhere that I go in the car, okay? It's more geared towards RTC response, so road traffic collisions, that sort of thing. But you know, it could be used for any sort of traumatic injury that, you know, where there's massive blood loss or airway and breathing difficulties, mostly, generally speaking. Okay, here's the kit. As you can see, it's kind of chunky, but it's not too chunky, okay? It's got a front compartment, it's MOLLE compatible, and I like to keep the trauma shears just right there where they can be easily grabbed and seen. Yeah, it's got all the stuff inside that's needed. Another thing that I just want to mention quickly is you'll probably notice that there's different colours on the kit, you know, different coloured kit, and this is basically so I can say to someone, grab those red scissors, grab that blue Sharpie, grab that black torch in the front that looks like a pen. That sort of thing. I keep it super simple for people, okay? The kit itself inside, it can probably treat up to 10 serious injuries. And by that I mean, you know, you've got 3 people and 2 of them have got like 4 injuries and 1 of them's got 2 injuries that are like life-threatening. You know, that sort of thing. So basically it can treat multiple people or 1 person that's really, really sick. But if they're that sick that they need 10 different interventions, then, you know, it's probably lucky that you're there. Let's have a look at what's inside. Okay guys, so here it is. Here's the kit. So as you can see, there's a front pocket, a main compartment with a zip, and then I've got some trauma shears on the back. No explanation needed for those. Essentially, the front pocket is held in place with a Velcro strap here. Then I've just got some gloves. I've got 3 pairs of gloves here. There is a Sharpie here for obvious reasons. Couple of pen lights. There's a pen light and then a keychain light for checking neurological deficit and whatnot, checking the pupils. And then there's just some saline. Oh, and there's also a whistle here as well. So yeah, saline eye wash pod and the whistle, gloves, Sharpie and the lights, all of which have a couple of purposes. I mean, the gloves can be used for multiple things, but you know, obviously they're used for infection control. The light, the Sharpie and the whistle can all be used for signalling as well as, you know, the intended purposes. And the saline can be used for sort of wetting bandages and basically just making sure that, you know, vital tissues don't get dried out by bandages. So we'll just put that to one side. Let's have a look at what's inside now. So as you can see, there's a good range of kit in there. The first line of kit that you'll see is catastrophic bleeding kit, okay? So we've got some bandages here. These are pressure dressing bandages. There's 3 of them, because 2 is 1 and 1 is none, and having 1 extra to that is even better. Okay, there's an improvised tourniquet here that's got multiple uses, and then there's 2 tourniquets here. So the bandages themselves, they're basically just a dressing with an elasticated wrap on them. Nothing too special. Got them dirt cheap, and yeah, I keep 3 in there just because, you know, you never know when you're going to be dealing with multiple catastrophic bleeds. They can also be used for non-catastrophic bleeding, but it's nice to know that we've got some multiple purposes for those. We've then also got these tourniquets here. So I got these cheap. They're called tourniquets. I believe that the saying that the company goes with is "be prepared, not scared." Great saying. I'm not sponsored by these guys. I just have their kit because I think it's a good bit of kit really. It's a tourniquet windlass with a hook on it. You use triangular bandages, as you can see in the kit here. I've got with them, but you could also use the trauma shears to cut the clothing into strips and basically use the person's trousers or their shirt or a scarf to basically tourniquet that limb and save their life. Okay, so there's another tourniquet here. This is an improvised tourniquet. It's an elasticated workout band. I have practiced with this and I can safely say that it will tourniquet a leg and it will occlude all the blood flow. There was absent pulses in my feet after doing so. Great bit of kit. It's also a non-occlusive or an occlusive chest dressing for chest injuries that are open, and it's also a moisture barrier, so I mean it won't stick to burns if you put that on burns. You could hold an eviscerated bowel in place with this and you're not really going to dry the structures out. But it also doubles up as a pressure dressing in itself, so that's the 4th pressure dressing the third tourniquet, and it's got multiple other uses. The triangular bandages, as mentioned, are just in here. Multiple uses for these things. I really like this cloth sort of variant. You can get different types of these. It's basically just a piece of rag. You know, you can use it for applying splints, and use it as a sling. You can use it as a wet dressing to cool someone down. There's so many different things you can use them for. It's better to have them than not need them, and than to need them and not have them. The topic of catastrophic bleeding, there's also some hemostatic forceps. Now these are a bit more advanced. If you see a blood vessel sticking out and it's pulsating and squirting out blood, and you can basically use these to clamp down on it, why not? If you're not comfortable using them, then don't pack them, but you might come across someone that does know how to use them, in which case it's definitely worth having them. The final item that I've got for catastrophic bleeding is compressed gauze. I've got 2 of these. These are great for basically applying pressure inside of the wound. I wouldn't be without this stuff. It isn't treated with any kind of hemostatic agent. The reason being is that I like to have more of a survivalist mindset. So I don't want to have anything with a chemical or a medicine in it which would then have to be irrigated out of the wound by a surgeon later on, because we might not see a surgeon for days, if not longer. So this is the second best option to that really, but it's a safer option long term in my opinion. But you know, I'm not against using hemostatic gauze, but I'm just thinking from a survivalist mindset really. So moving on from catastrophic bleeding, that's all the kit that you can see there. There is also some airway kit here. It's just super basic. It's sized to me. It's a nasopharyngeal airway. It's a great bit of kit. It will keep the airway open. It can be applied to a semi-conscious or unconscious patient. There are some contraindications to its use, but generally speaking, this is great because it can stay in longer term. It can be tolerated by the conscious patient once it's actually in. The only thing we have to worry about once it's in is making sure that there's no blockage of the airway. So this will keep it open. One less thing to worry about while we're treating the patient. Moving on from airway, we've got some breathing kit. So there is a stethoscope and some needles. So the stethoscope is just a cheap generic stethoscope. I wouldn't use this in the professional sort of line of work as a medic that I've done in the past, just because it's not that reliable, but you can still hear the breath sounds, you can still hear some heart sounds with it. If I come across a patient who I don't know, or even someone that I do know, if they've got vomit or blood or, you know, chemicals or burns on their chest wall, I'm definitely not going to want to be putting my ear against that to listen. So having this there just makes a massive difference. I then have some air vent needles here. So these have been used successfully by medics to decompress pneumothorax injuries to the chest. Would I use this on someone? Probably not, especially when an ambulance is probably not too far away, but in a remote austere setting where help isn't necessarily coming, you might want to have these, and you know, if the person's going to die anyway, then you might want to just give it a try. That's down to your discretion. I can't say that you should or should not do that, of course. The reason why I carry these, and I carry these most places in the car, is because if I need someone to use this on me and they're a good Samaritan passerby, a doctor, a paramedic that's off duty, they might be able to save my life or a loved one's life with this kit. We're now moving on to environment. So we've got some hypothermia prevention kit here, which is crucial, especially if we're dealing with massive blood loss. And it's just a survival blanket. So we'll put that to one side. No real need to explain what that's for. But with that, I've got a disposable hand warmer just to add some extra heat inside that blanket and get it circulating and reflecting back into the body. Every little helps. And then finally, there is a burn dressing, just because this is more of a trauma kit. I like to have a burn dressing there just because it's nice to be able to offer that option to someone when they've suffered any kind of burns. You know, it's going to give them more comfort. It's going to preserve water if I am in a survival situation or a remote sort of setting. So yeah, all of these items together can do some basic things. They can also do some advanced things depending on who you are or who you're with. But I would definitely recommend having at least the tourniquets, at least the pressure dressings. You know, if you want to add the needle decompression kit and the stethoscope, the burn dressing, then that's totally down to your discretion. Okay guys, I hope you like that. I hope that you've learned something potentially, or maybe you've got some comments that you can leave down below, just maybe something that I could add to the kit or take out of the kit. You know what, I'd love to hear everyone's opinions on that. If you really did like it, then please do like and subscribe. We've got loads of other videos just like this one that are coming up soon. We've also got general survival tutorials and even some specialised videos like that are coming up soon as well. It was a pleasure showing you my kit, and yeah, thank you for watching. Till next time guys.